So it's so incredible that we're moving towards the end of this series, the closure of this video series, and the transformation that I'm making into my life, my life after these years of healing and growing and everything I've been going through. So anyway, and I'm not in my art studio now. I'm at my desk. My art studio, at one point, I love making video. And I have found this is like this whole new way of like creatively expressing myself, doing this series. And so I cleaned out my art studio. I have a friend who's like totally into making art right now and like using like all sorts of different kinds of, recycled things for canvases and stuff. And, my studio was filled with it. So I said, come over. She had a big wagon, it's like, come over, you can have it all. And, I kept a couple of canvases. Of course, I kept paints, and it's not like I'm never going to paint again, but I'm just moving into a new phase of my life, and I'm doing a lot more video and a lot more computer art. So anyway, I worked on the piece a little bit, and as you can see, she has a genitalia now, and isn't that wonderful? It was a really healing thing, placing that. Somehow it just felt so good, And my granddaughter, she had made this heart, and she had red crayon like drawn around it, but you just weren't seeing it. So I made it a little darker, so it really stood out, guarding the heart, and just the beautiful heart, And this is all about resting in oneself, and I kind of made a little frame around that as well, because it just felt like the right thing to do. And then I put the shards of the mirror that I smashed. As we know, I like to smash things. And and that's just about projecting out into the world, and the world reflecting back what we're experiencing. It's all about being a victim and recovering from being a victim. And I have my little sacred goblet here, my little bowl, where I've been collecting my tears for quite some time now. And I looked in there, and it was sort of like layered in salt. It's really interesting. So I added a little water, and now I'm going to, this is going to be the final piece that I add onto the art piece. And as you might remember, the mask, she came with these little ribbons that come out, and these are going to be the stages of grieving. And but there's only 4 pieces, so I have to add a piece of ribbon, so that has to happen. And but anyway, I want to personalize her and use the mask, but I'm going to make my own face on here. So I'm going to start out, and like I said, I'm at my desk and not in my studio, and I could have set up all my cameras and done the whole thing and face down what I'm doing, but I think for this I can just hold it up, and I'm mixing my brush in the salt now, and just kind of covering the piece, just covering it with my tears. All the tears I've cried these years. Oof. And then I've got some white paint here. And we're just going to, it's going to take a couple of layers of paint. And then I'm going to, once I get a nice white base, I'm going to collage it. Give it a little more texture. I think it'll go with the rest of the piece, because I've kind of used that sort of collage-like texture for the rest of the piece. But you can see the white is starting to cover the mask, the details that were on here. So this layer is going to have to dry, and then we'll do another layer. And okay, so that's our first layer. And so I'll get back to you when it dries and it's time to move on. So, since yesterday, since we started to neutralize the face so I can create my own unique look here, I painted her white, and then when that dried, I put some texture on, just to give her, kind of goes with the theme of the whole piece. I texturized the whole piece. So anyway, I'm going to use a few different products. It's so weird to be at my desk making art, but it's like, you know, I thought, you know what? I think this just is the best way to go. You know, for right now, it's just making it just kind of easier. And yeah, so I'm going to use a few, like I said, a few different products. This is kind of, there are these neat crayon pastel-y things, and you can use them, and then you can add water, and they come alive. They're just lovely. They're from Switzerland, and I use the pencils and the pens. Like, these are like some of my favorite art supplies. They're just wonderful. So yes, and I'm going to give her some red lips. So I'll show you how it kind of works here. See, I'm kind of starting to paint a little, and I have actual paint too that I'm thinking of using. But I think, you know, just to get it kind of up and rolling, I was trying to find some black. I'm going to use a little brown here. And it's just, you know, it's just so fun. I have so many projects going on right now. I'm just like a little busy bee. I mean, you can't really see what it looks like around me, but you should be glad. And it's not that bad, but, you know, I just have a lot going on. So, anyway, so, you know, and I might add things to her at the very end, but we want to just start with something. So here she is. She's kind of getting a go at it. And I think I'll just use a small brush with my tears. And it's so weird to be coming to the end of making this project. I'm just like, wow, oops, that didn't work out very well. I guess that doesn't work very well on the texture. Oh, we kind of messed that up. Okay, so I think we're going to have to just go with pure paint. I really like the look of this stuff, but it doesn't seem to work on this, which is fine. Okay. We'll just have to accept that we're going to be able to do that. Okay, so we'll just let that sit for a second. Get rid of these supplies. Now, a couple of other things. I've decided there's going to be a doorknob on the door to set me free. And I have this funky old doorknob. And I'm going to glue, this was kind of like on the top of it, this little gold, you see it kind of this brass sort of thing. It's weird how it's in a strange shape, but, and then there's like a little hole there. So in the little hole, I'm going to glue this on there now, so it can be getting to work. And I'll put something in the hole, like a little rhinestone or something, you know, can't have a hole. Okay, so now the doorknob's drying. And then I want to start. Okay, I want to explain something I don't think I've talked about before. I painted, this is purple. I think you can kind of see it in the light. This is purple. And the edges I've done in kind of like a gold color. It's intended to be gold. It's kind of an ochre, but it's intended to be gold. A friend had told me about this meditation. Like, if you're just stressed or freaked out or whatever, you sit and you put yourself in a purple bubble with gold light around the purple bubble. And it keeps you like, she said it keeps you safe from like whatever's going on in the matrix. That's what she said. That's how she worded it. And I thought, oh, that's kind of neat. So for the frame, the very last thing we're going to do is put the face on. And so now I'm going to do the frame, and because it's going to have to be done one side at a time. And what I've done, show you these beautiful things that I've gotten. We have this little shop in town. It's just a wonderful shop, and the woman who owns it, I mean, it's her passion. She's been doing it for years and years and years and years. And her husband's not well, and she's going to have to close down the shop, which is just very sad. And she's sad, but she's got to take care of her husband. So anyway, she has this huge sale right now, like 50% off of everything. So I went in there and got some stuff. Oops, I guess I can't cut that too far. But anyway, I got these, look at these cobalt flowers. Look at those. And what I want to do on the frame around the edge is I got the beautiful flowers, and then I got these spikes, like the punk rock, like ass kicker spikes. And I'm going to put the spikes intertwined with the flowers all over the edges of the art piece to symbolize being kind, being receptive, but being strong and setting healthy boundaries for ourselves. So that is what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to put some spots of glue, put the spikes on, start with the spikes. I have to do, like I said, it's going to have to be done one side at a time. So this won't be done today, but I'll work on the face and, just get done what we can get done. Okay. So that's you can just see all the glue is put on there. And then I'm just going to put a spike on top of each glob of glue. And you can see me doing that right now. Kind of neat, right? We're actually doing the frame right now. It's really exciting. I was looking today, it was December 11th, 2013 that I started this project. And you know what? Actually, I made the first few videos months before I uploaded. I had so much anxiety about uploading. And one of the biggest things I had anxiety about is in the first episode, and I reach in the bag after I smashed the mask, I thought my arm looked fat. And I was like, seriously, it was like a crisis, and I was trying to find all these ways to like fix it. And then finally I realized, I got to the video on authenticity, and I was like, Eliza, do you really think people are going to give a shit about your chubby arm? Oh, God. Anyway, but, I just, I was so nervous, about exposing myself and opening up the way I have, and now I've gotten, I mean, I've loved doing this project. It's so weird that it's coming, to this closure now. At one point I thought, is this ever going to end? And then I realized how much I love to share and support others. I really enjoy doing this. So, and then I was like, oh, I can do vlogs, So anyway, so that's how that's going to go, after the exorcism's over, I'll be making vlogs. So I'll still be around. Okay, hopefully these little flowers are going to, oh, isn't this so pretty? Oop. Crisis. Yeah, you kind of got to cut them down far enough so they can actually be glued, because they've got that stem. But then if you cut it too close, the flower comes apart. There we go. Oh my gosh, look how pretty this is looking. There we go. I'm going to make sure you can see me doing this. Doing artwork at my desk. Okay. Well, you get the idea. This is what I'm going to be doing. And, I'll get back to you as I move along, as I'm pulling this all together here. Okay. I'm finding it so surreal that this is the second to last episode in the exorcism. And I've got the frame pretty much done except for the top, which I'm going to do right now with you. But man, the frame is really intense. Like, I would not want to mess with someone with this kind of boundary setting. These studs are really sharp. And anyway, and as you can see, I mean, it's all coming together now. And I put a carnelian stone on that little hole that was in that door. It was in the doorknob. And carnelian's all about like healing and balancing our physical and emotional bodies. So I thought it seemed really appropriate. Like it just kind of flowed. So anyway, at the very top, I'm going to put my crown. I am the queen of myself. I remember when I had this mask and I was going through so much intense stuff 5 years ago. And I was going to smash the mask just as like some symbolic, like, act, to kind of release myself from, negativity and yucky drama. And this friend of mine who's a performance artist, and she's like, film it. Film yourself smashing it. And that was when I started to have the vision for the exorcism. So remember when it got I couldn't find it in the bag. I thought it was all smashed up and I couldn't find any remnants of it. It was the strangest thing. And it was in that satin bag after I'd done the smashing. And then it ended up being like tucked in a corner or something. But I remember that was such a long time ago. Okay, so here we go. We're going to put the final part of the frame on here. And this glue it's really thick, but it's a really nice glue because it like really does the job. It's very tacky. Okay, so here it goes. Here's the crown. Oh my gosh. The crown! And I think I should put a flower on both sides of the crown. That's kind of what I'm thinking. And something else I like about the glue is it does kind of glue pretty quickly. Oh, I love these flowers. I love the color. This cobalt blue color is just like incredible. I don't know. Do we need the spot? Well, yeah, I think we should have the theme, the spikes and the flowers all the way around. Or maybe just the spikes on the end. Let me see what I'm going to do here. I'm not sure right now. There's a spike on either side, so we've kind of got to balance that out here. Creating right now. Live artwork here. It's kind of cool. Well, let's see. No, I'm going to do the whole thing. Okay. Decision made. Sometimes you got to kind of look at it before you really know what you're going to do. But anyway, this is the last of the frame. And after this, it'll be the mask. The mask, the coming together of me. The coming together of me. That's going to be the final thing to glue on here. So right now, we'll just let this glue today, and then I'll come back to you later, and we'll glue the mask on. It's really pretty. There it is. Now we'll just let it dry. See, and then here's the mask, and we'll put that on at the very end. Okay, so the watermelon crown is glued. It's been glued. It's there now. The top of the frame is there. And then I added some things like I had forgotten about the 4 agreements that I wanted to put on the piece. So the very top, I wrote, don't take anything personally, because that's kind of a head thing. And then be impeccable with your word. I wrote at the throat. And then at the heart, you can see this. Always do your best. And then right under, you know, like resting in ourself, I put don't make assumptions. Just like, I love that one. I love all of the agreements. I just feel like they're so powerful and meaningful. And, okay, I'm going to lay this down here. So the face, I wrote all the different phases of grieving on the ribbons. And I just like wasn't finding another ribbon that worked, or I just didn't find what I wanted. And so what I ended up doing, I wrote acceptance across the very top, because that's kind of the final phase. Now I know when I put the face on here, it is going to cover a few things. But glue to come out here. This is the last thing. This is it. Last thing I'm gluing on the piece. It's really happening here. It's exciting. So exciting. It's been such a journey. You know, gosh, what I have been through in the last 5 years. Oh! Yeah, you just think about things like I started the martial arts and, you know, I guess that was probably one of the biggest things I've done in the last 5 years. You know, doing the martial arts, that was, I just still love it just as much as ever. Okay, so I'm going to put the face on. And I'm not going to be able to hold it up because it'll fall off. So, okay, so we'll let that glue, and in my next episode, which will be the final episode of Exorcism of Abuse, I will show the final piece and the coming together of myself through what once was a smash mask is now healed, put together. So, okay, so one more video, one more episode. I feel a little sad, even though I'm sort of excited.